Hey guys, for the life of me, I don't know how Jaguar can even think this is right what she's doing. Because we know she's in a right mind. Every once in a while she goes off the deep end, yes, but she is in her right mind. She knows exactly what she's doing with Lagina. Now she's calling Lagina her niece. Like how she used to call Solar her nephew. She's only known Lagina for not even a week, more like 4 days. And she's her niece. So she put out on her, I guess, her live, she put out all kinds of weapons, gun, mace, knuckles, brass knuckles, all kinds of stuff, showing what she's going to do if anybody come to get Lagina, I guess. Because why else would she put it out? Nobody threatened her. Nobody threatened her life. The only thing people are saying is that she ought to send that young lady back to Detroit, back home, because her family is very concerned. Her family made a circuit today. They were on a couple of interviews with bloggers, and her family is saying her aunt was on, her her sister-in-law was on a couple of days ago, but her aunt came on as well as another family member. And they're saying, look, this thing with her name is not Lagina, okay? So this narrative that she put out that her name is Lagina Love, that's not true. And the family said, the aunt said, I know that you're in your right frame of mind, so stop the foolishness. I understand you're probably doing it for money, to get some money, but stop it. Because the money that's coming in is not going into your pocket. I'm paraphrasing. It's going to Jaguar Wrights. So let's listen to what the aunt have to say.
Is going through like a mental illness right now. I don't know why she slanged out with the family, but her sisters did put her in a mental institute, which was last week. That was her sister, Dominique De Jesus, because she's really like the only one that is close to her, but now she has even detached herself from her. She has an uncle named Ricky Franklin, which is Dominique Franklin's brother. He has also tried to reach out to her, and she is disowning the family like they never existed, like everybody's lying, and she's going so far as to saying she's from Canada and all kind of just lying about all kind of stuff, and we don't know where this is coming from. I know some things that have happened to her in the past, but it's no reason for her to be sitting out here saying that Aaliyah and R. Kelly is her parents. We all know that's not true. I saw her mother pregnant with this girl, so there's no way that Aaliyah Dana Horton can be her mother. There's no way that Robert Kelly can be her father. She's just crying out for attention. And her hooking up with Jaguar, I don't know how that transpired, but from what I heard, they got together in the mental institute. From what I'm gathered, from what I'm hearing, I'm not too sure. I just want her to be safe and brought back here to Michigan, because being with the Jaguar lady, from what everybody keeps telling me and people keep calling me and some of my friends that know about this lady personally, it's not a good environment for her.
So that's just a little bit about what the aunt had to say. Now let's go into the money situation. Because Jaguar Wright put out a statement yesterday that she raised, I think, $6,000 or $7,000. And everybody is saying, well, she said it's in her Cash App, 6,000 or 7. Today she said 7,000. And everybody said, wait a minute. Wait one cotton picking minute, Miss Jaguar Wright. That money's not for you. That money is for Lagina, since everybody has come to know her as Lagina. It's for her. That's why the funds were being raised. Now, Jaguar Wright put out a statement a couple of days ago, a video stating that oh, she spent $200 and she spent $50 every half an hour. And people who put money out, she got to compensate. This Cash App is not supposed to compensate people when they put money out. The Cash App is to help the person in need. In this case, it's Lagina. So guys, at this point, being that this money was intended for Lagina, and Jaguar got the money in her account because the Cash App, all the money went to her because they sent it to Jaguar's Cash App. So I'm thinking now, does Lagina have any recourse? That, to me, if money is sent for a particular person and another person holds on to it, to me it's theft. Does Lagina have recourse to recover that money from Jaguar once this thing is over? Because we know it's not going to last between her and Jaguar because she's looking unhappy already. Jaguar went out there and got a cheap old wig to slap on her head. But she's looking very sad. The first 2 days, I must say she was happy. Because, you know, she's with a big Jaguar, right? But when she got to realize what kind of lifestyle she will be living after 4 days on the road with Jaguar, she now knows. From the car to a hotel. From an apartment to a hotel to the car. I mean, it's constantly traveling on the road. So when Lagina has come to realize that there's no stability, what she's looking for, Jaguar cannot give her. This will be a wash. It will be over. But in the meantime, the money that Jaguar raised on Lagina's behalf, she's got it in her Cash App, in her account. So if I were the family, I wouldn't just let it go, because Lagina needs money for a new start, because she lost her job, she lost her apartment, she lost her car. So that $7,000 that Jaguar Wright raised is a good start for her to at least get a car to get around so she can go looking for a job and secure an apartment. It would be a good start. So if I were her family, I would go after that money to make sure Jaguar transferred that money into Lagina's Cash App, because she's got a Cash App. There was no reason for Jaguar Wright to tell donors to put that money in her account. That's thieving, thievery, highway robbery in broad daylight, in front of your face, in your very eye. She wasn't even trying to hide it. But in any event, this thing is shaping up to be a knockout and drag out. Hopefully, it doesn't get to the point where people are fighting physically. Because Jaguar showed her GUN, you know, those big things you put on your knuckles, right? She put a mace and all kinds of stuff she posted, like if she's big, bad, and bold. But you know what I always say, if you think you're Superman, there's somebody who got your kryptonite, okay? But I'm surprised Goomba didn't step in by now and say, you know what, enough is enough. Send this young lady back home because I don't want the heat. And a whole lot of heat is coming to us because apparently the authorities in Dallas has already visited the home. Wherever Jaguar is, the outskirts of Dallas, that's what I'm made to understand by someone who lives in Dallas came on, I think it's Hear Her TV is the name of the show. She was on there and she laid it out. She said she has offered Lagina if she needs a safe place at any time, any day, any time of night, to call her and she will pick her up and make sure she secure a safe place for her and call the family to come get her. She has reached out to the law enforcement. She has reached out to adult protective services, because we know when it comes to people with mental illness, there is an agency that protects them from this very thing that Jaguar is doing, putting her out to bring in content that's using a person for your own personal gain who is mentally challenged. You cannot do that. Okay? There are laws that governs such things. So she called this woman, I didn't get her name, but she was on Hear Her TV today, and she laid it out. She said she contacted the police department, she contacted the agencies that governs the mentally disabled, and if someone is trying to exploit them, she got in contact with the family while she was on the show, and she told them what to do, and they need to come get their loved one because Lagina is in harm's way. She stressed it to them, and she laid out what happened with Jaguar at the airport, how she had a meltdown and cussing out the officers there and saying that she was on medication and put her in a hospital, and or she needs to get home, and she was just wild and crazy and lashing out and the outbursts. So she laid it out to them. And then she told them about the incident with the ashes, where she covered her face with her son's ashes and threw the ashes on patrons in front of the barbershop. And all the other incidences that we saw on national television, she laid it out. So the family got a good understanding of who they were dealing with, because the family had never heard of this Jaguar Wright. So let's listen again to this woman and how she contacted the authorities and laid out how the family should go about trying to retrieve Lagina. So once again, this is the interview on Hear Her TV being conducted.
First, I want to say to Angela and to Miss Cherry, you guys are so strong for what you have to deal with. I know this has to be a whole lot. I do want to let you all know, I want to give you some information. I do want to let you all know, I was the one who contacted the police here. I live in Dallas. I was the one who got addresses and contacted every police department for the addresses here around the DFW area. Wellness checks were done. Wellness checks will continue to be done. I sent a screenshot of Jaguar in the hotel with those weapons, and I told them this is what this young lady is around. So wellness checks are going to continue to be done. They know that she is, that Angela is suffering from severe mental illness. They asked me what it was. I told them, I said, well, she said it's paranoid schizophrenic. I said, but I'm waiting on the family or someone else to confirm. And thank you for, you guys confirming that. I can give that now to the detectives that are working. I have their numbers, their names. I can give you those if you guys need them. And I was going back and forth with myself because I felt really bad for, putting in a report because in one city here, the police know her very well. And I heard the mother on the other end saying that, she doesn't want any part of this, and some other things that she was going on. But the woman that your niece and cousin is with, she's extremely dangerous. Her and her husband cannot remain in the city of Dallas. They owe a lot of money, a lot of drug debt here. Oh, wow. They owe a lot of drug debt here. And let me tell you, and the people in chat can confirm, I confronted Jag maybe about a week and a half ago on a live. And I told her, I'm like, there's certain areas you can't come to in Dallas because you know what you've done. And when I started to mention those names, immediately her eyes got big, and she never denied it. She just went off on me. She went on her Instagram live and she mentioned the locations that I dropped and was like, I'm not afraid to go over there. I'm like, but you never denied what I said. You know that you and your husband cannot be here in this city. you can be on the outskirts of the city, which is where she's been going, like to Fort Worth, to Euless, to other parts of Dallas. I believe now she's in Louisiana. But as far as your loved one, I only want her. So I'm a mother, okay, and I have a child I have an adult daughter who, suffers from mental illness as well.
Right.
And I felt like if it was my child, I would want somebody to have the same energy. If my daughter got on a bus to go to a woman and a man that she hardly knows, and she's having these delusions of grandeur, I would want somebody to, fight and try to find where she is as well. I've even told Angela several times, find me on Instagram. I'll come get you. I'm here in the city. I will come and get you wherever you are. I will take you to the hospital. I will sit with you until you get proper help, and I will help you get back to your family. I have offered this numerous times. And each time she comes on and she's like, no, I'm okay. I'm fine. Jag even confirmed that she knows the authorities came to her house. She said it herself. And I even said, I'm the one that did that. Everybody else that's complaining and saying this and that and the other, nobody else lifted a finger to help your loved one. I did. Me and one other person. I'm not going to give their name, but me and one other person.
I believe it.
She is in danger. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, I understand she's an adult. And I understand that,
and one person wasn't me. Let's put that out there.
No, it wasn't her. It wasn't her at all. It was someone else. It was another subscriber, but I'm not going to give their name.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to give their name, but they assisted me as well in getting, locations and things like that. I had two locations, but they assisted me in getting the other locations, which I won't give to anybody. But she's in danger, and I was afraid to step out. I stepped out on faith because my heart just was in it. And I know the danger that she's in. And I know that, she can, when the police come, she can say, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. I understand that. But just if you guys want that information and you can say, hey, there was a report put out on my cousin, my niece, this lady, someone said they put out a report, and they will definitely tell you, yeah, we did some wellness checks, and you all can say, well, can you go back because she's not well. This is what she suffers from. We need her away from this individual. They'll probably direct you to come here because you can go before a judge here in Texas, and if you bring that proof to say that she just was in a mental institution, this is what she has, and she's with somebody who has documented mental illness all on social media, and they give that name, a judge will grant you a temporary conservatorship, I believe, and they can grant it within like 24 to 48 hours. But the family, you guys have to do that. So I wanted to give you that information because that's what Adult Protective Services told me. Okay. I even have Adult Protective Services in on this because they're like, well, even if she says I'm okay, we know. And when I sent over that screenshot today, they were like, well, where did this come from? And I said, you all have to go on social media and take a look. And I'm sure they did because like 15 minutes later, the cop called me back. He saw the screenshot. He's like, whose weapons are those? I'm like, obviously they're hers. And she's a mental illness patient as well. She claims she's on lithium. She just got out of the hospital. And he's like, mental illness patient, the mentally ill can't have weapons. I said, exactly.
Right.
Right. So it's, I don't know where she met Jaguar. I think someone said they were in the hospital together or something like that. So I don't know if Angela was here in Texas or if Jaguar was somewhere else. But, I wanted to just share that information with you guys and let you know, if no one else, you all have somebody here in Dallas that, is trying to get help for your loved one, but I can only do so much because I'm a stranger. I can only do so much. So, but they have done, they have went out to these locations and done wellness checks, and they will go out and do them again. But if you all want to do more, you all would have to get here and get in front of a judge with that, with that proof. And that way the police will go with you. The police and the sheriff will go with you. And I hate to say forcibly, but they'll be like, hey, no, she needs to come with us, and they'll take her to, hospital and you guys can get her reevaluated and things like that.
So guys, that was very interesting. There's so much that woman can do. After all, she is a stranger. The family needs to step in and be very active in trying to retrieve Regina back. Jaguar Wright is someone who thinks she's still famous and popular and is at a drop of a hat, she will get the bookings. No. She used to be popular and famous when she was with the Roots back in the day, but now it's not like that. She's washed up. She's a has-been. So that's why she wants to use this young lady, allegedly, to bring in the money. Because she figured if she ride the wave and this narrative that, oh, this is R. Kelly and Aaliyah's daughter, as long as she can, people are going to donate. Because that's what she asked for. She asked for donations yesterday and she got $7,000. There are people out there, believe it or not, who are very gullible. They will send that money. Because there are people out there who believe that this young lady is R. Kelly and Aaliyah's daughter. And those are the ones who are going to be sending to support the cause, if you will. And so there's no short of people who are going to be donating and sending money. There's no shortage. Jaguar knows this. That's how she's able to get $7,000. She's going to do it again tomorrow. And the next day, she's going to ride this wave as long as she can, because she knows pretty soon the jig is going to be up. Because the woman who is located in Dallas, where Jaguar is, knows Jaguar. So here's the woman in Dallas who is so instrumental in helping the family retrieve Angela back, aka Lagena. Again, this is a stranger in Dallas trying to help Lagena and her family reunite on the Hear Her TV show. She's being interviewed.
Hey, I want to say to Angela's family, if you all can hear my voice, I do want to first apologize that you are experiencing what you're experiencing with your sister, your daughter, your niece, any cousin, anybody that's concerned. I understand how you must feel with her getting on a bus from Detroit, where you guys can get to her, and coming to the biggest state in the United States alone to a woman that she only knows off of social media. I understand how concerning and scary that can be. So, what's the best way for me to put this? I'm sorry, I'm really trying not to break down, but the best way for me to put this is as a highly concerned parent, woman, mother, even friend, even though I don't know you all, even a friend. I just wanted to help your family member. I don't want her to be harmed. I don't want anybody in this situation to be harmed. If anybody in this situation were to be harmed, I would absolutely, it would drive me insane. That is not my goal. That is not anybody's goal. I truly believe that. Everybody wants what's best for her, but she's put herself in a very precarious and dangerous situation because she doesn't know these individuals. She doesn't know that these people are on the run here in the city of Dallas. She doesn't know that these people have individuals already looking for them. It was, to me, it was fine when it was just Jag and it was just those two rolling around. You know, whatever can happen to them, I didn't care. I just I just watched and laughed for the content. Angela, your family member has now become content, and whether it's willingly and unwillingly, she's also in a very dangerous situation. I understand that even though she is an adult, when you are mentally impaired as she is, your thinking is not, it isn't correct. And you will believe, I mean, obviously her thinking isn't correct. She believes Aaliyah and R. Kelly is her mom and dad. So that shows, and she's convicted about it. That shows right there that mentally something is wrong. So to her family, I understand your fear. I really do understand your fear. And then the fact that this woman is showing her weapons live, saying, this is how I think, and your family member is around those weapons. Some part of her, I'm pretty sure, is terrified. She tried to make her come in the bathroom with her, saying she was going to a sauna. She's in a hotel bathroom running hot water in the tub. That's not a sauna. At the minute mark 43 on that video, you can see a blue scratched off label pill bottle. See, she leaves too much evidence out. Those are the kind of bottles that only certain individuals who are indulging in street pharmaceuticals, I'm gonna put it like that, who are indulging in street pharmaceuticals, they carry that bottle. Because if they get caught with the labeled bottle here, and I believe that's across the United States, but I'm going to say here in Texas, you get caught with a bottle that has a label on it and it's not your name, you go into jail immediately. That's a felony. So that label was scratched off. I know what a scratched off label means on a pill bottle. Trust me, I know exactly what that means. I want your family members safe, just as you want your family members safe. Today, she looked like she was crying. She had tears in her eyes. I don't know what it's from. I don't know if she purposely let everybody see that. If she purposely didn't wipe them tears from her face. But she's showing that maybe I might have made a mistake. Pretty sure a little part of her is like, maybe I made a mistake. They got me in a hotel. I'm not in a house where I have my own room, where I have my own bed. I don't have regular clothing. She probably goes to, in Dallas, Fort Worth, we have these little clothing bins. They're green, that people dump the bins in, and homeless people go through those bins, and they tear up those bins, and they get clothes and shoes and things out of. Angela, I would hate to know that that's where you're getting your clothing from. That they're raiding these bins around DFW and giving you clothing, and not taking you to a store with the $6,000-$7,000 that they receive from deceiving individuals and not taking you properly shopping. They have done a lot of things wrong with you, Angela. If I was your family member, I would be trying my best to get here and find you. And if any of your family members want to reach out to me, you can, and I can give you the officers' names and their numbers. I have them because they contact me personally.
She knows all about her because in their neck of the woods, everybody knows Jaguar, and Jaguar knows this particular woman. She knows all the ins and outs about Jaguar, all the scheming, the scamming she knows. So she was able to lay it out. And she called the authorities, told the authorities exactly the address where she's at. The authorities went there, they did a wellness check. They left without Regina, of course, because Lagena says she's fine. Lagena is 26 or 27. If the authorities go there, the cops go there, knock on the door and says, we're here for a wellness check. We were told someone might be in danger. And they see Lagena come out and she's smiling. I'm okay. Who reported? I'm fine. They're not going to do anything because they can see that she is able to leave at any time. She is talking like if she's in her good sound mind. But in fact, she suffers from a mental illness. So this woman was able to lay out to the family what they need to do. So the family is on the case trying to recover Lagena. They have to call the court tomorrow, find out all the things they need to transmit for there to be an immediate judgment that can give them temporary protective custody over Lagena until they can transport her out of Dallas back to Detroit to a hospital where she can be treated. Because apparently they said she was in the hospital for about 3 days or 5 days, 3 to 5 days, somewhere around there. And she was released. And look what happened. She was not okay because she went in because one of her sisters called to get her in the hospital because she was on this R. Kelly and Aaliyah is my mother tantrum. She went off the deep end with that. And the sister was so concerned, the family member was so concerned that she called the authorities to come get her. They put her in the hospital, they did the psychiatric workup and all of that, released her with medication. And then Jaguar Wright swooped in and told her, do you feel safe? And she said, no. Do you want to leave? Something of the sort, she said. And she said, yes. And she says, okay, I'm going to come get you. And she went and picked her up from the, the bus station. Right there in Dallas. She took the bus from Detroit to Dallas and then Jaguar picked her up. And I don't know at what point Jaguar found out that she was schizophrenic, paranoid schizophrenic, and had a mental disability. But at that point, she should have said, oh, I didn't know you had all these things going on in your life. You know what? I'm going to have to put you right back on that bus and send you back home to your family. And she should have called the family, explained what happened, that she was returning Regina because she has mental issues and cannot take on that responsibility. But Jaguar didn't do that. The first day she received Lagena, she put the camera right in her face and started to tape because Lagena is the last person to know, but she was there so Jaguar can put money in her pocket, allegedly. So now the aunt is involved, all the family members, or most of the family members are involved, although they're upset at the fact that she talks so badly about them because she is within their family. They are willing to help her and they are going to help her to get out and away from Jaguar Wright. Because if they don't, they're saying that they're afraid what can happen to their family member, their loved one. Because after it was laid out that not only Jaguar has mental issues, but her husband Goomba have mental issues too, the family, they were almost in tears to know that these people have their niece. The aunt, I think the aunt was crying. And the woman who is in Dallas, who said she knows all about Jaguar Wright, she was in tears after they saw Lagena, and she came on for a brief second, and she was so sad looking because Jaguar was sitting in a restaurant, and the table was full of food, But we don't know if the food was for Lagina or just Jaguar. We don't know that because we know how these things go. They will order up a whole lot of food and let you sit there and watch them eat when they want to control you. Okay? So we do not know if all is well with Lagina. But what I do know is that come tomorrow, the family is going to be on it. The aunt said a lot of the family members can't just take off and come to Dallas to do paperwork because that's going to take a couple of days. And they have families, they have jobs, etc. And that's understandable. But what they can do, according to the aunt, they can contact the court tomorrow. They can contact the police department. They can contact whoever, but the adult agency that protects mentally ill people. And this woman in Dallas was able to give them all the numbers, and she's going to keep in contact with them. I didn't catch her name, but let me tell you, that's the kind of person you need in your life. Okay? Because she was so instrumental in guiding them into what they need to do to get Lagina back. But she said you have to, through the courts, you have to get that emergency guardianship until they get her back into Detroit and get her into a treatment center because she's not well. So, folks, this thing is just, it's just getting out of hand. Jaguar Wright was on the live. She did not show her face. She was just texting, and they kept telling her, come on the live so we can talk to you. She refused to come on the live. She was just texting. And that's like a coward, right? That's a coward way out. You got a lot of mouth when nobody's around, but when people want to confront you, you can't show your face. So she didn't show her face. She was just texting, and here her TV said, do not give out any more information because she's sitting on this page, sitting and listening to know the next move so she can make her move based on what we're saying. And that's pretty much what she's doing. Jaguar she says she comes on her show pretty much every day. Since she's had Lagina in her possession, she has come on her show every day just to listen. So she told the panel, she said, you know what? When it comes to giving pertinent information as to what's going on with authorities and law enforcement and going to find Lagina, wherever Jaguar is, stop giving out the information because that's what she is gathering to know where she should be next. Because if she knows the authorities coming to the mom or the husband's home tomorrow in Dallas, she's going to get in that car and drive to Louisiana or drive to the next state because she stays state hopping. She doesn't just stay in one state because she's always on the move, especially now. So it just reminds me of an abduction, folks. Like if this young woman, look at the picture. Lagina left Detroit without anything. She has no money, pretty much, right? Jaguar receives her, realizes, okay, this is a person who is very gullible and she has no money, so I can pretty much use her for my content. It's not putting her on the street to work as a prostitute, but she's going to get money in a different way. Allegedly. Make her content for her platform because she's had her on just about every channel so far. Real Life Production, she's had her on her show and she's been broadcasting it, oh, she's been on Philadelphia, oh, she's the first guest. But guess what? She's being used for content because the money's not coming into Lagina's pocket, it's going to Jaguar's pocket. When she's got all these people viewing, the views are giving her the money through YouTube and it's going to her account. It's not Lagina's account. So you're pimping her for your channel. That's what's going on, like a pimp. But let's listen once again to what the aunt has to say.
She could be acting out through a lot of things. It could be attention seeking. It could be a number of different things going on because, like I said earlier in the conference when we had this talk when I first got on this live, just a couple months ago, she was a little wasso. She was fine. I've talked to her. Everything was good. I go back and look. She's Lagina Gold all of a sudden. So I don't think she's acting out on any type of tragedy. I think she's just doing this for attention. Someone suckered her into believing something else. You know, they say she had a mental breakdown, but I just don't fully all the way see it as just a fully mentally breakdown. I just see it as attention seeking because of 1 minute she's fine. She's just like, oh yeah, Angela Cruz, you're not my cousin anymore. You're my cousin by choice. And then it's like she gets on the live like, don't bash Elijah and my brother Elijah and my cousin Angela because they're just looking out for my best interest. You know, it's a back and forth thing. So I feel like right now it's just attention seeking.
Now, because she feels it's attention seeking, although she has seen all the actions of Lagina, and it looks like if she's going back and forth with reality and what is fiction and fairy tale, tells me the aunt needs, and maybe the whole family needs, to be educated on what schizophrenia is all about, because you do go back and forth. You just don't stay crazy all the time. You go back and forth between reality and fantasy. So maybe some family education needs to be had. So this situation is very concerning. But now at least the family did not know the gravity before. But when this woman who lives in Dallas decides to break it down, she broke it down to them. She explained all about Jaguar Wright. That's when they understood the type of person they were dealing with, and they have to get her away from Jaguar. They have to get Lagina away from Jaguar. And the aunt was even cussing because she was, from crying to cussing, she was so upset. You know, a lot of time, and it's a good thing that this woman in Dallas decided to reach in and intervene, because the family would not have known what and who they were dealing with, because they had never heard of Jaguar Wright. All the antics with her throwing the ashes on people and covering her face in it and cussing people out at the airport and fighting with her husband and hooking up with Solar and want to start her own island nation and all this foolishness. They never heard of none of that. Believe it or not, some people have never heard of Jaguar Wright. Not everybody knows about her, and these people never knew her. So all this information was new to them. When they were getting the information, they were like, what? Oh my God, what? What? You know, it was just shock upon shock upon shock. But that's when they knew the type of person they were dealing with, and they have to get Lagina away from her. Because what has happened, Jaguar is starting to brainwash her. Allegedly. Before, Lagina wasn't saying anything about Deladelphia and supporting Deladelphia. She got on the live, and the first thing she said, with a mannequin face, support Deladelphia. Support Deladelphia. You know, I'm saying, where is that coming from? She's not going to push Deladelphia unless Jaguar tells her, make sure you tell the people about my network, and repeat it a couple of times so they remember. All the stuff that Jaguar says about LL Cool J's son, P. Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs, Jay-Z. Now they put Kurt Franklin's son in the mix. All that stuff, Lagina is repeating, like if she's Jaguar. I mean, you would think that Jaguar sat her down in the chair and just drilled her on what to say. But she's beginning to sound like Jaguar. And that's when I knew she's got to get away from her before she totally brainwashes her, and then she's going to do her bidding. Because Lagina has some level of sense. We know this by listening to her. Jaguar didn't kidnap her. But what Jaguar did was a subtle coercion. When you tell a person who is telling you, I'm afraid, I need to get out, they're trying to kill me, you already know this person want to get away from where they are. They're fearful. And the person said, I'm fearful. And you say, do you want to leave? Of course they're going to say, I want to leave. They're going to say, yes, yes. And when you say, I'm coming and get you, it's a subtle manipulation for that person to say exactly what you want them to say. I want to get out. Yes, come and get me. When Jaguar said to the young woman, do you want me to come get you? Of course she's going to say yes, because she's already telling you that she's fearful that people are trying to kill her. And once she picked her up at that bus station, when she came into Dallas, the first thing she did was put the camera on her in the back seat. She was in the back seat and the camera was there. And the camera has not left her face since the arrival. That's using a person for content, because when people look at Jaguar Wright show, it's setting up the views, it's setting up the subscribers. The more views, more subscribers, YouTube give you a check accordingly every month. And that money is not going into Lagina's pocket, it's going into Jaguar Wright's. So tomorrow, the woman in Dallas is supposed to be calling the authorities again to go do a wellness check. If Jaguar is still at the same location. Because now she knows that they're going to be coming again. She might take off tonight and go to a different state. The family is supposed to be, her sister as well as her aunt is supposed to be, they're supposed to be getting in contact with protective services tomorrow for people who have mental impairment. And that's tomorrow. And they're also supposed to be getting a protective order for immediate guardianship over that individual, Lagina, so they can dictate her movements, so she can't just run and skip town. That can be put in place, that the family have jurisdiction over her, so she wouldn't run again. And if she runs, the authorities would bring her back. Although she's 30 years, well, not 30, I think she's 27. Although she's 27, she's not thinking clearly and she have mental illness, so they can do that to protect her. And there's nothing Jaguar can do about it. She can show all her GUN on the internet. She can show her brass knuckles. She can show her mace and everything else that she laid out on the bed and snapped and put it on her live to show everybody that she is ready for a fight. But guess what? When the popo comes, I don't think you can outgun them, Miss Jaguar Wright. So we're going to see what happens tomorrow. This is not going to end well. That much I do know. I don't know if when the popo comes, if Jaguar is going to put up a fight like she did with Solar. Remember how she was saying, don't touch my nephew, don't touch my nephew? Well, guess what? Lagina is now her niece. She's going to be saying, don't touch my niece, and she's going to act a fool. So buckle up, folks. It's coming. Now, Gerald, I notice he's staying clear of this. He don't want no part of it. But he got to get a spine and man up to Jaguar. He should have never let this young lady move in with them. Never. Everybody who is homeless out there or don't have a place, is that how it's going to be? Jaguar is going to keep bringing these people in? She didn't even know this woman, this young woman at all. Like she didn't know Solar. She moved them into her place after I think she spoke with him for 2 weeks. He was moved into her place. This young lady, she knew for what? Over the internet for like a week. She moved into her place. It doesn't make sense. You cannot keep putting your family in danger like that. And the woman in Dallas mentioned to the police department, showed them the picture, and they said the mentally ill is not supposed to have any weapons. So it's going to be interesting because the GUN belongs to her husband, but he's not supposed to be carrying either because he's mentally ill. So we're going to see, folks, how this thing pans out, okay? I mean, it's a nightmare for the family of Lagena because they know both of these people are mentally ill, and that's who their niece is with. No telling where she's sleeping. We see a nice big king-size bed that Jaguar sleeps on. Whether it's home or a hotel, I don't know. But it's a nice big king-size bed. But Lagena is coming from some nook and cranny. I don't even know if it's another room adjacent. You know, in those hotels they have double suites where you can lock your door and you're in one suite and over there is the, you know, other person and everybody's safe and secure. You just lock your door. I don't know if it's one of those things. Lagena's room has never been shown. So we don't even know if she got her laying on the floor in some hallway. We don't know. Or sleeping in the bathroom. You know, put some stuff down on the floor and she curl up in the corner sleeping on the floor. We don't know. This is all a legend. It's a big mess, but it's a worst nightmare for anybody who have a loved one who is mentally ill and somebody else who is mentally ill have gotten hold of them. Now, Lagena's father is from Nigeria. They don't know if he went back to Nigeria because they lost contact of him. They don't keep in contact with him and that other part of the family. So they don't know if he went back to Nigeria. Her mother, the aunt said, was a heavy drug user. That's why she lost custody of her children. And the mother is okay now in terms of drugs, but she just got a stroke, and the stroke got her not talking. She's aphasic. She cannot speak. She can understand that, but she cannot express and speak like she normally would do. So she can't help Lagena. The other family members have to help Lagena because the mother is completely out of the picture because she has a stroke which rendered her helpless. The father is not in the picture. He's gone somewhere. So the only people who are left are the brother, the sister, the aunts, the aunt that she has who was on the live today. They're the ones who are fighting for her. And apparently this thing with Aaliyah and R. Kelly, with her saying they're her parents, recently started. Because when she went into the hospital, that's what she went into the hospital for. According to the sister, she said she went into the hospital because she was delusional. And she was just busy with the narrative that R. Kelly and Aaliyah are her parents. And she just came out of the hospital about 2 weeks ago. So this is recent. And I wonder what triggered it. I really wondered what triggered it because she did say that she sent Jaguar Wright a message when she was in the hospital. Now, Jaguar Wright and her was in the hospital just about the same time. So I don't know if Jaguar Wright said something to her to trigger that or planted a seed to trigger that. But I do know she feeds the narrative. She calls her baby girl. That's what he used to call Aaliyah. Now, Jaguar, Wright, and her was in the hospital just about the same time. They were in different states, of course, but around the same time, they entered a mental institution to get treated for mental illness. On one of the lives, Lagina said to Jaguar that she did text her while she was in the hospital, and she reached out to her, wishing her well, and she was in the hospital at the same time. Jaguar said she never received the message, but we don't know if some type of message went on that she's not admitted to that triggered Regina to further double down deep into this delusion of her being the daughter of R. Kelly and Aaliyah. So I don't know if Jaguar Wright said something to her to trigger that, or planted a seed to trigger that. But I do know she feeds the narrative. She calls her baby girl. That's what he used to call Aaliyah. She's constantly telling her she looks just like R. Kelly's mother. So she's feeding, just feeding that delusion. A person who is schizophrenic don't need that. They need to be into the reality, not the fantasy. Jaguar keeps feeding the fantasy. That's why she's so dangerous. She's going to have this girl so far in the delusion that she's going to think she's Superwoman, she can fly. They got to get her away from Jaguar. Anyway, YouTube. Let's listen again to what this woman in Dallas who knows Jaguar have to say to the family. She's giving them a rundown as to what happened within the past 2 months with Jaguar.
I mean, she's in a bad situation. Like, the grandmother's even looking for, her grandson. Her grandson hasn't been home. Jaguar's son, Sam.
First of all, before we get into this part of the video, I am sending out prayers that Sam is located, because Jaguar have not mentioned the fact that her son, Sam, was missing. Maybe he wasn't gone for long, and maybe she didn't get word of it. But this woman says that Sam has been missing, according to the grandma. I told you guys, this woman knows a lot about Jaguar. She knows people that she knows. She's in the circle, Jaguar circle there in Houston. So anything that goes on in Jaguar's life, she gets wind of it. So again, we are hoping that Sam was located and he's safe at home with his grandmother.
Her grandson hasn't been home. Jaguar's son, Sam. And he apparently suffers from autism. So this is, it's a whole cluster mess all the way around. Like I said, I really wish, that, she can get away from Jaguar, because it's not a safe situation. And I'm so, so sorry of the stress that you all are going through. I mean, everybody sounds like they're just exhausted and they're just tired. And I know, like I said, my daughter suffers from, she has episodes from time to time, and I have to just breathe and just, and you just push through. But so I know how exhausting it can be. I can tell you guys really care about her. You guys love her, and you guys, want the best from her. And like she said, even if it's, her getting away and just being here by herself and living a life here, but it's just getting her away from Jaguar. It's getting her away from, and then the husband isn't all there. He suffers from severe PTSD. He can flip out at any given moment.
This is too much.
Well, I'm just telling you, it's not.
As far as the severity of it, this can go left at any given Sunday, because they all have these tics and these, post-traumatic syndromes that just any little thing could just make them turn. And I mean, I don't want nothing happening to her. Like, this can turn deadly, seriously. Like, and that ain't what I'm looking for. I just feel like if we don't hurry up and do something, this is gonna turn left. And then you're naming all the illnesses, plus on top of the illness my niece has, Jaguar, and the husband, and the son. It's too much. It's too many people with mental illness and no one with a sane, conscious mind that could lead either one of them in the right direction. I think police needs to step in and do something a little further because this is starting to get real scary.
Well, again, the only thing they told me they can do are the wellness checks. I can call every single day and tell them, hey, can you go check again? And they will. You know, they will go. I can call every single day and say, please go. And they will go and they will call me back and they will say, well, you know, they're not here, they're not there, or this person came to the door, something like that. They even asked me, like, well, have you gotten in contact with anybody from their family? And I said, that's what I'm trying to wait for, to see if I can get to somebody so that I can tell them who to call so that, you know, or they can come down here. And that's when Adult Protective Services let me know, like, if they get down here and, you know, they, you know, provide proof of this illness and that, you know, she left, even though she left, you know, she left on her own, but that she left on a bus a few days after receiving, you know, this diagnosis, and you all think that she's a danger, you know, that the people she's around is a danger. Like I said, a judge can, you know, will possibly grant you a 24 or 48-hour conservatorship over her. And it would be to get her evaluated, and especially if she's having these delusions of grandeur. See, the delusions of grandeur, you have proof of that. You can direct them to social media, and that literally is proof. Like I said, Adult Protective Services told me that literally is proof, because she's saying out of her own mouth, yeah, I'm R. Kelly and Aaliyah's daughter. And this, yeah, I don't have any brothers, I don't have any sister, you know, I don't, and all of this, you know, a judge will definitely take into accountability, right, and go, oh, okay, yeah, she does need to be looked. And the questions that I had for Jag was like, when she first got here, why didn't you take her to the hospital to get her checked out? If you know mentally she has, you know, something going on, why didn't you take her to Parkland? Or, you know, take her to Baylor or somewhere like that to get her checked out.
Let me ask you real quick. Do you guys know about the barbershop incident where she threw the ashes on?
I was about to bring that up, but go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. No,
yeah, okay. I was about to say, so a few weeks back, when Jaguar was dealing with, I hate to bring this up, but I'm going to have to, because you all need to know who you're dealing with. Jaguar was a part of someone who was in a cult, okay? The guy's name is Solar, and she was around, you know, this individual who was in a cult. She's called herself a high priestess of this cult. It's called Carbon Island. You all are free to look it up on YouTube. I'm not going to get into that. But their leader, quote unquote leader right now, is in jail. So I want to let you know that. But she hooked up with this guy, and after 3 days, she started calling him her nephew. She calls your daughter her niece. She does that to manipulate and to make the bond closer, because she's a predator. But so an incident occurred at a barbershop in DeSoto that her husband claimed to own. He doesn't own it. It's owned by someone else, where she took her sons. She had a son that unfortunately passed away, and she took the ashes and blew the ashes on people and spread the ashes across her face.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah. Yes. And that's all on social media. That is all on social media. That's all documented. It's documented her being arrested. It's documented her telling everybody that she pulled a gun on her husband and pointed at his head.
Oh my Jesus! Is there a link? I heard that. I'm looking at the comments. They're saying there's a link to the video. Is that true?
Yeah, you can find it. You can find it.
I'll send it to you.
She, after that incident, well, I take that back. While she was in the institution, she was on the phone of another individual. I won't mention her, but another individual here on YouTube. She was on the phone with her, giving false information, saying, you know, that when she comes out, she's going to start a group home, and that she did say that she met this girl in the institution, and that girl had got on the phone and was like fangirling over this other person, over this other content creator. And she kept saying, no, that's the nurse, that's the nurse. And when people called her out saying a nurse would not give you a phone because of HIPAA violations, they're not going to lose their job over you. She started saying, oh, well, why would you think I'll put a nurse on the phone? So she supposedly was in Dallas Behavioral for 9 days. She got out. She said she's on medication. So let me take you to Chicago. She goes to Chicago. And there's another documented incident you can look at. She goes to Chicago. She assaults TSA. They're all kind of, I don't like to curse, but they're all kind of bitches and mother effers, and she's recording all this. She's inside a Midway airport talking about pow pows and how she's on medication, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with her? So that was that incident. So then she goes to Arizona. She lies about her car getting blown up. Said she Jaguar likes to say that Jay-Z is after her. That Jay-Z and Puffy and Sean Diddy Combs are after her. This is what she tells everybody. This is what she. Rock Nation. She's like, Rock Nation is after her. They're trying to harm her. The car thing has never been proven. The car thing's proven to be a lie. So now a scam. So now here we are with your loved one. Now we get to your loved one. But between that time, she's doing interviews, she's doing podcasts, she's flashing weapons, telling people she's threatening people with knives and other pow-pows and things like that. She's pulling. I hate to use this word, but she's pulling a lot of junkie behavior. And at first it was, I just, because it was just her and her husband, I didn't care. When your loved one got involved, that's when I was like, wait a minute. No, they going too far.
Anyway, YouTubers, drop your comments. I'm over and out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you for watching.